All right, well, we're going to move from Donald Trump to our friend Hillary Clinton. The State Department preparing to release the second to last batch of Hillary Clinton's private emails. But this time it won't be on a Friday at 5 p.m. Even better, the document dump will reportedly happen on New Year's Eve. How convenient. Thanks to a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit, the agency gets to wait till the end of each month to release the documents. But this isn't the first time the Obama administration has released sensitive material during the holidays. On Christmas Eve, they released 16 pages of redacted emails related to Benghazi. You know, Senator, I am so tired of this nonsense. I mean, they assume that everyone's either asleep or partying with family, and it's just going to get swept up. It's under the rug. Isn't this the administration that touted transparency?
Yeah, well, first of all, how is she still running? It says that they've redacted. There are hundreds of nearly 9,000 pages expected to be classified. There's a guy in jail right now who worked for the State Department because he missed either lost or misplaced one. Yep. And now hundreds. Remember, she said none of them are classified. So once again, it's a different set of rules for her and for the Clintons in this administration. We'll see if in fact they're going to do their jobs. And are you surprised or shocked that it's coming out at this particular time? Yes, they are obligated to do it by the end of the month. They can do it whenever they want. They have this stuff. Let's go. Let's just stop the.
Well, what are we going to see? Half of them have been wiped out, right?
She's already determined what we're going to see.
No. We're talking about the beginning when they did the document dump. They removed half of them, and the real scandal here was the Clinton Foundation, right? And how the Clinton Foundation was closely tied to the State Department whether it was closely tied to the State Department activities. That's the scandal we're not going to find out about because, again, half of those emails were pulled and not submitted to the government.
That's why I think O'Malley's in there still because of that. Sorry to interrupt, but I think O'Malley's there because he's just kind of waiting and saying, well, what if, what if, what if, what if? And who knows?
I actually think there's already so much out there. It's amazing that it isn't getting more traction. It isn't deterring more people. I mean, I think that it's already out there in most people's psyche that she's not an honest and upstanding player. And I agree with you, Emac. I actually think that they broke many more laws with relation to the foundation and pay for play and payola. There's already enough evidence out there, and nothing's really happening around it, and that's disheartening, but I don't see that changing.
I think, Kat, the problem is that people view politicians in general as so dishonest that even though they'll look at Hillary and say, she's dishonest, she lied, she didn't disclose this information, they sort of group all of politicians the same way, and they take that out when they consider who they're going to vote for. So is this really going to hurt her?
I don't think so. I think that the right way to look at it is for her specifically, this is not anything to be surprised about. Also, the debates, thanks to, you know, D-Dub Schultz, are always on Saturdays, so no one will watch them. She gives limited amount of press conferences. She's the only candidate that I've really seen. The strategy is to have less of her for her to have a better chance and do better, which if that doesn't prove that she's the worst, I don't know what
Well,
does.
you know, it did hobble her campaign in the beginning, the email dump.
Right.
It did. The sympathy for her turned after 11 hours of being grilled before the Benghazi committee. What can we expect? Will the FBI refer to the Justice Department and say, yes, we should prosecute Hillary Clinton for, you know, the mishandling classified information and obstruction of justice? Or the Justice Department could say, we're not going to prosecute, and then you see the FBI leaking. That's a storyline we're hearing out of
I actually think the drip, drip, drip has worked in her favor. You know, we thought that it coming out, you know, every single month was going to be something that was going to be the unrelenting drumbeat of what she had done in the past. But I think it's done the opposite. It's made the public immune to it. They're like, oh, another email dump.
Sick of it.
Look what happened with General Petraeus, and, you know, it was pretty swift. Is she going to get any type of penalty for doing this? And she was the Secretary of State. She knew or should have known that everything she does, hey, what do you have for dinner? Where are you going for dinner? Where are the kids? That's all sensitive. She's the Secretary of State. She knew it.
Senator,
and a former First Lady.
Right. What should Republican candidates do? Because I think a lot of them are baffled by the fact that this isn't pulling her down more, and they're concerned about, do American voters care about character? They say in polling that they care about trustworthiness and honesty, but it's not pulling her down enough, and Republican candidates aren't gaining the lead. So what should they do?
Well, it is actually working in New Hampshire. Bernie Sanders, I believe, will win New Hampshire regardless of what Bill Clinton does because of that. When you talk to people not trustworthy, not honest, out of touch with the average American, she's rebooted her campaign 4 times. And she should be just dominating this race, and she's not. And that's a problem for her.
Right. All right, well, we're going to see how big of a problem it is for her. Moving on, the so-called affluenza teen busted. Ethan Couch and his mother taken into custody in Mexico. You'll recall, Couch claimed he was so rich and spoiled, he didn't know right from wrong when he he killed 4 people driving drunk in 2013. So now, could the teen face jail time and finally learn some consequences? Plus, he campaigned on a promise of change. But new polls show Americans aren't satisfied that President Obama has fulfilled his pledge. And the clock ticks down on his time in office. And right after the show, catch more from the couch on the web. Join us for Outnumbered Overtime by logging on to foxnews.com/outnumbered. Click on the Overtime tab. Tweet us your questions, comments. Senator is waiting. Tell us what topic you want to hear more about from him.